I've been experimenting with new, more advanced material in a group coaching program called Slots Labs. It's a process that I specifically designed to help you grow your slots play beyond where my 30 days to play slots smarter and win leaves off. It's a class of 20 students, and there are a few openings left. In today's live stream, I'll tell you all about it. Um, uh, and of course, I'll be taking your questions because today is let me make sure I put that up. I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream. Hello to you watching this recording on YouTube, Twitter, my Facebook profile page. They just sent me a notice we're live there, or listening later to the audio on a podcast episode. Thank you for being here, and be sure to subscribe or follow for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around. I'm sure it will be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. But those of you who are here live, thank you so much. And a special thanks to my moderators for helping with today's live stream. Thank you. So if you have a question, use hashtag question. So I'll share that banner across the bottom of the screen if you can read it that small. Use hashtag question. That's so I can spot your question to me instead of comments in the live chat to each other. After all, this is also a community video where friends check in with with lots of comments to each other, which is great. So it's already going on for a little while now, and my cats are making a fuss. Oh my goodness! Saboteur number one and Saboteur number two are under my chair. Pardon me while I twirl my and try to get them to not maybe argue quite so much. Okay. One of my moderators, one of you guys named them Saboteur number one and Saboteur number two. It's a little better when they're under my chair, not like behind the computer screens, reaching under clawing under the monitors, trying to get to my pen. So please, if you have a question for me, start your comment with hashtag question. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Professor Slots live stream. You know how you come on. Okay. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Professor Slots live stream. You know how you put a lot of time and effort into, you want that? Okay, take that. You know how you put a lot of time and energy into your slots play for not nearly enough wins? Yeah, I get it. I'm here to help you change that. If you're trying to accelerate your slots momentum, become more profitable and win more than ever before, today's live stream will help you move forward with confidence. I have over a decade of experience working with slots enthusiasts just like you, so you're in the right place. Hello, slots enthusiasts. It's great to hang out with you again for another Professor Slots live stream. I do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday at noon Eastern to help you improve your slots performance, change your life for the better, and hopefully I'll change your life today as a little bit so you can visit your casino and play slots smarter. And sometimes the best way to do that, to change slots enthusiasts' lives for the better, is when they enter a business relationship with us. They become a client. They buy one or more of my online courses. They start getting coaching from us, whatever the case may be, because you have ways to take advantage of your casino, which allows you to impact how much you win and then leave with your winnings. I'm your host, Dr. John Friedel, but please call me John. And so if you're new, how these live streams work is I pick a slots topic, usually inspired by your questions from prior live streams, and comments on Facebook and Twitter. I'm seeing comments now, from emails I received from fans or from weekly discussions in my Slots IQ membership group. Each live stream, I talk about that slots related topic for about 20 minutes, and then I take your questions for the next hour and 40 minutes. I hit a hard deadline at 2 hours when my voice starts to give out, so I'll get to your questions as soon as I cover today's topic. But start asking them now. It's a free service, and I'll get to as many of your questions as I can, as quickly as I can. I usually get to all of them, unless it's like at the last second, and we don't see them quite fast enough to be able to include them in the live stream. But I'll get to them soon, so patience. But first, today's topic. Actually, first, I want to thank my donations. Thank you, Chuck, for your donation of $20.88. This is a super chat. He says, "Morning all," and also, can you hear that? It's climbing around, and also from Magpie 11. Thank you, Magpie, and Magpie as a super chat. She always has a pithy thing to say, and she says, "Winners invest in learning." Couldn't agree more. Also, I want to give a shout out to Flip. Flip sent me. He switched over from giving a donation in the live chat. He switched over to what's called Cash App, and I will cover that up. And well, can you see that? Yes. Flip gave a $300 donation this morning, early, before 6 a.m. And he said that he used multiple strategies altogether, and he hit a $28,400 hand pay this morning. So he gave me a $300 donation. Thank you, Flip, for the donation. I'm going to use that to supplement coming to Oklahoma, and maybe I can see you one morning and not interrupt what you're doing, but maybe I can come out there and WinStar and shake your hand. I might send you an email about when I plan to be there, and just want to shake your hand. Thank you. And yes, Serenity, good morning. I'm looking forward to the special guest appearances by Hetty or Emil. Hetty is right there looking up, which I imagine is where Emil is. So, yeah, okay, all right, well, and let's see. Yep, and so I will come, and Steve says hello. I want to make sure I say hello, and Paula and all the moderators. 22 degrees. Oh, it's 26 here, but sunny. That may look like snow outside, but it's just the sun. It's so sunny in Reno. I'm a little surprised by that. Somebody told me it's more sunny than Phoenix, maybe not as warm, but 300 days of sun. Wow. Okay, so let's you get your paw back on. You can't. Come on, you can't reach under the monitor, the computer at my mouse. I know you like, stop it. He's like pawing underneath, and I'm like, okay, all right. Because this is my very first time to run this program, Slots Labs. That's not a toy. That's a USB drive. Because this is my very first time to run the program, Slots Labs. I invited only a very short list of people, those on the wait list, to go through it. To go through it and help me test it. However, due to the structure of the course, I can only take 20 people total. Now, if you have a spouse or significant other, they can who also play slots with you, it's totally fine to join with you as well. So I sent out this offer on Monday to the wait list on my website for people who are interested in the Slots Lab when I first started working on the idea earlier this year. And I sent out that first email on Monday, and then I sent out a deadline reminder yesterday. Unfortunately, according to my email server, only about 1/3 of them read the email. This is kind of the nature of email marketing and trying to respond to those that specifically asked to be told about this program. I'm sorry I didn't get through to 2/3 of you by email. In any case, thank you to those who did register. I think it's going to be a great group already, but there are a few spots left open, so I'm now making this offer to you. If by the end of this live stream we reach 20 course participants total, then that'll be it. So let me tell you about it so you can decide. When is Mondays? We'll meet every Monday for 1 hour from 5 to 6 Eastern in a Zoom call. This meeting, Zoom calls are sort of a little old-fashioned, but people expect them. So I have another app, which is asynchronous video messaging, big words, which I think will just be delighted. People will be delighted by. But the Zoom meetings are comfortable, and I'll be there, and you'll be there, and it won't be like this live stream. It'll be all of us together, group coaching. So that'll last 6 weeks. Our first meeting is on January 9th, and our last meeting is January 13th, just before Valentine's Day. I chose this time to avoid the upcoming holidays. I didn't make it start this year because it would just be like, nope, not this week, because it's Christmas and then New Year's and etc. So I chose this time from January 9th through February 13th to avoid the upcoming holidays because we are all busy with family. But early January through mid-February is a great time to prepare for better odds in late February, March, and afterwards. So that's my reasoning for when to hold this first class of 20 participants. Basically, the course starts during most casinos' downtime. I'll talk about this during the course, but it's kind of the downtime from January through Valentine's Day. And this gives you an opportunity to work on preparing to returning the slots when the casino seasons begin immediately after the course is over. So that's the reasoning behind that. Let me just interrupt myself here for a second and thank Sonia for her donation. Thank you so much for your donation, Sonia, and hello, Cyberwolf. We've been chatting a lot, I know, and we will see. I thank you for the questions, and I'll get to them shortly. I just wanted to acknowledge some hellos and the donations. Yep. Right. So the format will be combining slots strategy training far more than what I did in the 30 days to play Slot Smarter and Win course that many of you have taken. That course only had one instance of combining strategies, and Flip's $28,400 hand pay is this morning in his $300 donation, is an indication of what happens when you start combining. As he has said here, it's he is combining strategy, as he said in the note that I showed you on Cash App. And if you want to use Cash App, it's my address is @ProfessorSlots, and that's how you would use that. But in any case, we'll be combining slot strategy training along with understanding your casino well in a mastermind format. And I'm curious to see how it flows. Our weekly meeting will be an interactive training and discussion around a topic. There will also be assignments from me and recommended reading to do each week that will help you to take what you have learned about growing your gambling performance during our meeting and implement it in your slots play. We'll interact and what, you guys okay? We'll interact and report on those assignments throughout the week inside a private online community. And that was the video, asynchronous video texting and image app that some of you know about. I think it's just a great service. So to answer your question, to answer a question from the wait list, these assignments are not you spending bankroll playing slots. I mean, if you spot an early opportunity, sure, go ahead. I won't be asking you to ignore it. I'll be pointing out certain things to you, and if you find it, then maybe you want to take that opportunity. But the assignments will not require spending money playing slots at your casinos. Even going to the casino, some people are far away from the casino, and going in the winter is kind of a hard thing to do. So even going to the casino during the class is somewhat optional. And so that's where we're at here. Yeah, Roberto, absolutely. But I'll get to your question in a moment. Uh, so topics. While we'll be covering a lot of ground, and one of the things to watch out for, you guys okay? Okay. Uh, uh, I'll be covering a lot of ground, but I'm curious to hear if it'll be too much. That's why the price reduction for this first course. You don't want to cover too much. Yeah, you run away. That's right, you run away. Uh, but here's some of the topics we'll be diving into. The skills you need to succeed at playing slots. Mapping your gameplay to succeed with a practical strategic model. Steps to create and test your methods so they don't fall flat at your casino. Create a strategic plan for your casino for predictable gambling revenue. Managing finances and systems for long-term growth. A process for planning future growth and fixing current problems at the same time, and steps for scaling your slots wins and revenue with a partner or spouse. Uh, and some great questions. I'm looking forward to them in a moment. So the cost, eventually this product will cost several $1,000s. But in exchange for your feedback and ideas as I test this process and material for this first course, it's only $497 for this alpha test. I'd also like to request that you be willing to provide any testimonials at the end about your experience in the process and the results it generates for your slots play. I've added 3 easy payment options at $179.50 each. I'm unable to offer that in a PayPal a payment method because that's not something PayPal offers. So it's a credit debit card only. But you can also pay it on one-time payment of $497, and that is using PayPal or a debit credit card. You can switch to your preference at the sign up, and you toggle the choice. I know the holiday season is coming up in 3 weeks, so the second monthly payments will be in early January with a third payment just before the end of the course. I hope this helps. The second course will cost at least $500 more. That is to say, at least $997 per registrant. And of course, spouses and significant others will be able to attend along with the registrant. So where you would register, if you are interested in committing the time necessary for this, and this is going to be a course where you're going to be working, and so your invitation, I will put it in the live chat. It is also I added it to the this video description, and you can see it on the screen here. If I just flip over to the next one, and so you can different ways, and I will remember to add it to the, well, it will be over here. it'll be card at the top after the, well, probably tomorrow morning if we're not full already. So the deadline for you is shortly after this live stream ends. Or as soon as the class reaches 20 participants. I'll give you a few hours to decide, but I'll next be offering it to participants of my online course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win, because this is the next logical step. They know from that course the value of what I teach. If you have taken the course, you can expect an invitation to Slots Labs soon. There may even be a few openings left by the time you read it. If we reach 20 participants, beforehand, you'll eventually get an invitation to the second course, offered at probably at $997, or at least $997. That's the plan anyway. Again, the maximum class size is 20 registrants. I made an exclusive offer to the waitlist, gave them 5 days to decide, and I'm giving you this invitation next. And then it'll go out to the 30 days course participants. But don't let those others take your spot from you. If you have questions, let me know. Thanks. I'm excited to hang out with you for 6 weeks and help you grow a thriving slots performance at not only your local casino, but also at other casinos for more amazing wins than you've ever experienced before. I look forward to seeing you in the course. Again, thanks to those who have already signed up. I'm so looking forward to it. Okay, so questions. Let's go through the questions and see where we are at. I'll start at the top and see what I missed anything. Kevin H is here. And this is before the live stream was actually on. Dilrod is on a bus on his way to Mystic Lake in Minnesota. Kevin H goes to Mystic now and then. I told them, hey, you two should talk. This is all pre-show stuff. And yeah, Dilrod says, I'm on the bus. They have, I had said, eyes on the road, buddy, eyes on the road. But he said, I'm on the bus. They have a free bus that goes there every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Hey, so you can basically every day I have a live stream. Wonderful. And it's lots of fun. One of my moderators says, time for learning and fun. Hello to everybody. Hi, it's lots of fun. And be sure to like this live stream, please. It helps YouTube algorithm. It's kind of almost like a central server at a casino, trying to work the system, take advantage of it. So if you like this video, more people will show up before the end. Yeah. And, hello. Flip, if you're watching this now or later, Camilla, what is that little emoji? It looks like you're blowing him a kiss. And Serenity says, Flip is our hero. Yes, Flip sent a $300 donation because this morning he won a $28,400 jackpot using a combination of my strategies. So hey, if you take my $97 course and you make enough money to pay for the $500 course, the $497 course, this you pay as you go. Use my methods where I describe them free and pay to learn more. This is how we learn. We invest in our learning, as Magpie said in her donation. Winners invest in learning. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Cheryl's, I absolutely congratulate Flip. Way to go, Flip. And Leslie from Oregon says, when is Flip going to do an interview? He and I discussed it extensively, went over the reasons. I respect his decision. He has decided to not do a live stream. He prefers to remain anonymous. And I can't blame him. I'm fully in support of that decision. So if you've been on the live streams, he said several things over the last couple of weeks, which should be everything that you want to know. Yeah, so Flip has said no, and at my request, I asked him, and I am perfectly comfortable with that decision. Let's move forward. Cyber Wolf says, good afternoon, Professor Slots. Great to see you here. Cyber Wolf, great questions you've asked. Camilla, give cats a cat tree with Nip. Hey, don't I get a Christmas tree myself? I was thinking about getting some lights out on the deck. Yeah. Camilla says, December 29th was my first day in casino after a year away. I know you're in Canada. I know there's been problems with the border. I know that the casinos in Canada have been doing their thing. And you're armed with an arsenal of strategies. I bet. Yeah, good luck. And do you have your lockable wallet? I think you said you had ordered one. Yeah, and Serenity, this is just chat back and forth. Says, good luck to Camilla. Will be challenging after that much time away from the candy store. I enjoy time off. I mean, we talked about this in past live streams, of taking a break. And sometimes you take a break and you come back and and maybe you're learning something while you're gone, or just kind of you notice changes that took place while you were gone that you were like, how long have they been doing that? And these are all good things. Yeah, so a very interesting time. Good luck, Camilla. Question from Becky. First question. I got a bonus and the lady next to me got a bonus at the same time. I watched our bonus rounds and they were exactly the same. Same wins in the bonus and we won exactly the same amount. How? That's fascinating. I had seen someone shared a picture with me. I think it was my moderator, Flip, who it was the two screens, and when it was he took a picture of them being identical. Machines can, I mean, how do I put this? Everybody outside of my audience, everybody thinks slot machines are just doing exactly what they're going to do, and that it's all just a running machine, right? That it does this, then does that, then does this. And I talk about how no, that's not how slot machines function. That's not how they're meant to work. But you can have exceptions. You can have you can have slot technicians who don't know a darn thing. I mean, why do they know anything? On the job training. And early in the job, they don't have a lot of training. And if they aren't a slot attendant, slot tech anymore, then they stopped learning, with very few exceptions. So what's happened here is the machine has been up, two machines side by side were just set up the way they came in, or they were both set up the same exact way, and they're identical. It's laziness. It's a mistake. It is possible. And that's something that is very rare. Only 2 times have I ever seen that myself, or even heard of it myself. And this is one of them. So yeah, this is I think it's fascinating when we see these things, because then it proves it proves the existence of what actually happens when you see it missing. I went to Delta Downs last year. Was it last year or the year before? Last year? Any case, I went to Delta Downs, and in April, that last year, definitely, they had remodeled. But I was there before that, and I walked through it, and I'm like, I wish other people could see this. This is such a dead casino. It is all straight lines. There's no slot machines capping the end of rows. There's a plant blocking the view into the high limit room. This is where the casino slot manager didn't do anything. It's just like, do your job. And they didn't. So that is, it wasn't a place to win, but it was I wish people could see what's at their casino and then compare it to like when it doesn't happen. So you have seen when two identical things happen, and now you know that can happen, and that all the other times that you've played doesn't happen. And this is an insight. This is, you're starting to peer behind the curtain of what's happening at casinos. Good for you. Oh yes, Roberto, that is an excellent suggestion. Last night, I work long days. Last night I got a low, anybody do audio? I got a unidirectional microphone to put in front of my face that hangs in my ear, and it's a Bluetooth that'll go into my recorder so that I can make commentary during the live streams. I tried to do the best I could on my first demos, and the 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock, that's PM. So 6 o'clock Eastern and 9 o'clock Eastern videos. I have a group of 24 of them that are coming out. Those are just coming out, and those are my first. And the improvement I want to make is lower the background noise and just do a running commentary. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And so going forward, you will see that. Yeah, except for those things that I've already uploaded and they're already coming out, and that's I think I'm up to 17 out of 24 of that first round at Atlantis Casino, demonstrating my 5-spin method. Yeah. If you have other suggestions on improvement, please let me know. It's a learning process. I don't know if anybody, any other slots channel that actually demonstrates their strategies, partly because they don't have strategies and deny it even exists. And so these demos, I want to get better at them. Yeah, great. Yeah, keep the suggestions coming. Appreciate it. Thank you. And question from Flip. Hey, Flip. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. And question, he says, I rarely do backup spins after hitting a hand pay, but my wife does them all the time and gets returns 50% of the time. Your thoughts, preferences? When I was winning hand pay after hand pay, those 54 in 6 weeks, and less than you, and I was like, at first I was like, no, but then I started thinking through, it seems like such a waste, and then I was thinking through it, and I'm like, there might be something to this. Um, if the win is a lightning strike, then that's it. You just get the one lightning strike. But people have been hit by multiple lightning strikes, one after the other, and I started thinking about it. I'm like, well, as long as it doesn't interfere with the preserving gains method that the player has, because putting all the money back in the hopes of winning again is a terrible, terrible thing. It's a terrible feeling to have that. But if you feel like you could, regularly make another bet to do a backup spin after you win a hand pay, there's reasons for that. But if you are already running to get out the casino because that is something you need to focus on, or like for you, if you're there for 2 hours from this time to that time, and then if it's past that time, get out. But it's great to hear that your wife is getting them returns 50% of the time. Yeah. And so do it if it doesn't cause you to want to stay forever, because that is worse. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Serena says, I've gotten back-to-back hand pays on the same machine. Yeah. I was looking at the yes, and it is, and Chuck has an opinion. It's great. This is almost a group coaching program, where Chuck says, I do 2 backup spins. It rarely hits, but it's a real thrill when it happens. Yeah. And people are wow. And Camilla says, I hope to take the original course in the new year. Yep. There's improvements coming to the new course, the 30 days course. It's not really improvement in the content. There's a few tweaks and things that have happened since I last put out an update earlier this year. What I want to do is add a visual component, kind of like the slides that I was just presenting, and this, that would look more like this, and just bullet points, because many people learn from having bullet points, and that's something that I want to add to help people learn in the course, and make a few adjustments here and there. I've changed the name of my and I've changed the name of my Slots IQ membership group. It was Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, which was SGN, and it was all such a mouthful. And so I asked members of the Slots IQ membership, what would you like to be called? And they said, well, it's something IQ. And I'm like, Slots IQ? And something like that. That's how the conversation went. So I took a couple of their ideas and combined them. And so if you take Slots IQ, and part of the conversation was take the first 2 letters of Slots, SL, and then IQ, and then add ER, members of the group are slickers. Which doesn't get a lot of use, but they're slickers. Yeah. And the rest of you are Slots enthusiasts. Could I get that link again? Yes, I will share that link again for you. If you go to, I'll do that now. There you are. And if you are interested in all of my courses, I don't want to overwhelm anybody here, but if I'll show you the screen. So let me share my screen. Come on, guys, don't make a racket. And okay, so now he's into the catnip. There he is, and he's playing with the catnip and the cell. But yeah, there we go. And so if you go to professorslots.com, you can choose courses at professorslots.com, and you'll see my full list. So that's all four of my courses, including this latest one, and one of them is free if you are interested in seeing just how I teach courses, online courses. You can get a very short course there, a mini course really, and for free, and that's how I roll. So when in the Slots Labs, there is an option here, and you can switch over to the full price, or you can choose the 3 monthly payments. And there's descriptions here, countdown timer to when the class starts. What I'll be doing is the first meeting will be on January 9th, but on January 2nd, maybe a little bit before, I'll be sending out notes to the people who subscribed about introducing yourself and some other things that we'll be doing. So those are the pricing options. Bonus material will be the record keeping templates. There's also my 30 days to play Slots Smarter and Win. It comes free with the course, and unless you've already taken it, but it is a requirement. I guess in college terms, we'd say it's a prerequisite. And then the video strategy calls is going to be part of that as well. And what to watch out for, be prepared for what it involves. It's 5 to 6 hours a week, not for the faint of heart. And that is the description there, which you can see for yourself, and you can get started by clicking it's a pre-order now, because I'm checking out to see if there's interest. Yeah, and so far it looks good. Yeah. And Jason, I don't know if that's a question, but Jason says, I started betting on the $1 denomination and started winning a whole lot more. Just off the top of my head, were you paying penny slots? Because if you go to the 6 U.S. states that offer returns by slot machine denomination, you can see that outside of like February 2021, in one of the cities, frontier towns in Oklahoma, except for that 1 month and that one town and that one monthly return, penny slots have the worst odds. Now there's so many penny slots that there's you can find the good ones, but on average they're the worst, which means that many of those many penny machines, many of them actually have worse odds than the returns show. And so I am not surprised at all that you picked a denomination other than penny machines and had a better return. Yeah. Now, just understand that it's a myth that when you have that the return improves as you go up in denomination. That's a complete mathematical misunderstanding. The odds don't improve. How much you win in any particular win improves, but you win less often. So your return is less. And it's all very easy to find. They're very easy to look at it in the 6 states that have slot machines by slot machine returns by denomination, and it just isn't in order. But people say, well, I can't win as much on a machine where I'm not betting as much. Well, yeah. That doesn't mean you're going to make a profit. You're looking to make a 30 to 50% profit. That's reasonable if you work hard and use my techniques and study. And people are like, but I spent a lot more money than I ever did, and then I won money. And I'm like, did you did you make a profit? Because, that's, anyway, it's a math thing. Yeah. Greenwood, welcome. Welcome. We have several people that come in from the UK. This goes out to all English-speaking countries and non-English as well. Welcome. Good afternoon. Watched all your videos and learned a lot. Good. I'm glad. Only started playing slots a few weeks ago, but there's many newcomers. And as I used to use to blackjack. Yeah. It's really a shame what's happening to blackjack with infinite card count, infinite shufflers and stuff. It's just like, but okay. Currently on a heater with 9 out of 10 wins. Great info from your vids. Thank you. And congratulations. I'm glad you're doing well. Great. And Tina has a question. I've seen people leave their machine for a period of time and come back to play. Is there a rule that the machine is abandoned or anyone can play on it? Is it left for a period of time? Yes. Well, every casino is different. Some casinos don't let anybody lock the machine to, tilt up the chair if it's not bolted to the ground, to, make that option to talk to a slot attendant to lock it. I've been to casinos where you have to call a slot attendant. They will lock the machine, which will only unlock if the player who they locked it for puts their player's card back in. That's the only time it'll unlock, or after 15 minutes. So if they have to go to the restroom, better be back within 15 minutes, because that's what's said. So I like that. I like the idea that they would lock the machine, but I don't like the idea that it's like, okay, I guess we're not going to be making any money on that machine for the next 3 days until somebody comes along and unlocks it. No. So casinos make a lot of money on slot machines every day, profit, and it being locked is not to their benefit. So yeah, it's casino by casino and what are the rules. And you can either call them, go to the website, call their number and say, what's your policy? And maybe if you can find out the policy for like a Horseshoe, then you might know what the policy is for any Caesars property. MGMs, could be very similar for all of those. That should be. It's sort of like a corporate rule. Yeah. And so see what your casino does. I think there's poor choices out there that casinos make, and so it's nothing like a federal law or, I would hope that they would have it for like at Caesars properties, all Caesars properties, but it might be the general manager of the casino's decision based on, a lot of casinos are purchased from prior owners. That not tribal casinos, but the commercial casinos often get bought and bought again. And that's actually the business plan for some casinos. That certainly was true for the downtown Cincinnati casino. First it was Horseshoe, then it was Jack, and then if you haven't heard of that, it's Michigan casinos, a couple of them, and Detroit and Cleveland, and then it's now a Hard Rock. And so it's only been open like 9 years, and it's got on its third owner. So if there was a policy on the prior owner, Caesars might very well say it's not a universal thing at all Caesars, but rather what we do here. Casino by casino. And Hakeem says, question, can you get yours hand pays and check form? Yeah. You can get part of your hand pay and check form. One of the questions that I've gotten, you can get all of it in check form. You can even fold it up and put it into a lockbox, even though, it's a check form is pretty safe, but you could take it to the cashier and they might be able to cash your own check. And so it's that's one way to get out of the casino. Somebody asked me, can I get my slots jackpot in free play? And this is a way to get out of the taxes because free play isn't money. When I won a car, they offered me the $40,000 cash option in free play. In which case, free play is has no monetary value, and I wouldn't have to pay any taxes on it, except if I'd used it and I won money, then that I would pay taxes on that. But that casino, my decision was no, even though it was like, I tried to answer all the questions in advance if I won a car, and then I did win a car. And so all I had to do was remember the answer instead of think with my hands shaking, because that's the kind of experience it was. And they really pushed the free play. They really pushed it. And I had not expected that answer, but because I had figured out the answers to the questions I knew they would ask if I won, I had enough brain capacity left over to say no, because I had free play at that casino, and I never won anything with free play at that casino. I'm like, I'm not getting $40,000 in free play, because I'll probably get zero. Yeah, give me the cash, and I got half of it in check. I said, please give me the whole thing in $100 bills for $10,000 bundles. I like those little bands. And I sort of collect them. It's a thing I do. Someday I'll link them together and put them around my Christmas tree. And my cats will probably eat them. That's the sort of thing that they've been doing lately. But getting into my stuff. But yeah, that they didn't give me $40,000 in cash. They said, well, we can't. And I'm like, really? And why don't we give you half of it in check? And I'm like, okay. And Serenicity's last year before, in our house, we say could have been Tuesday. Okay. Question from Jason. Let's see what your question is. I started betting a $1 denomination instead of 10 cents. Okay, and started to win more, not just bigger payouts, which is what I was talking about, but haven't left since but haven't left since. I think you mean haven't left since you started it. Doug, great. Now understand that it might just be the machine that you're playing that has the better odds. 10 cent is we could go look at Louisiana or any of the 6 other states. I think there's 7 now with Iowa that and the returns, and see if you can find that you can often see how many 10-cent machines are on, like the Las Vegas Strip. And then that's just a matter of going to 40 casinos and finding all 120 or so of those. So let's do that. I'm trying to make sure I do more demonstrations. So let's oops, no, I had to stream. There we go. Okay. So let's go to Nevada. I have articles in every state. And so if you go to professorslots.com/ your 2-letter postal designation, I will do that for NV for Nevada. We will go to my article for Nevada. And all these articles have the same structure: introduction, relevant legal statutes, whether or not private ownership is allowed in that state, gaming control board, and then and casinos. And then in Nevada, it's like scroll. And I put them in by city, and I even have a map on all these articles. And what's the next state over is, and then here it's border towns, but the different borders around Nevada. There's a Facebook group, which I won't show you because it's private and you have to join if you care to. And then we get to the last section before summary, which is theoretical payouts and return statistics. And we can look under stats and statistics. And click right there, and you can see the latest. So October 2022 is the most recent. What the heck is going on? Well, I guess November won't be out for like 2 weeks. Okay. All right. Imminent. November 2022 is imminent. So we go to this mini page report, and they're all structured the same. This is the directory. They're broken down by area. And there's several, usually a county, but some counties are broken down by areas in the county, like Las Vegas Strip, down North Las Vegas, and there is even downtown Las Vegas and Arcady overall. It always starts with the statewide. So let's go to Las Vegas Strip, all locations, not the casinos that have different revenue ranges, but all locations on page 12. Boom, boom, boom. Go down to page 12. And showing that good. And 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is, if you haven't seen this before, let me kind of like make it a little bigger here, showing this PDF. Oops, 12, page 12, okay. So let me show you how this works. This is Clark County, Las Vegas Strip area, all locations. And if you break it down, I have videos on this, but we'll just do it quickly now. And if we, I'll highlight this whole page, then I'll break it down for you. So it's broken up into sections. Over here on the far right is the returns averaged over the last 12 months, which can be useful to see if there's been sudden changes within this month. But it's also broken down for the last 3 months average. And then there's the current month, which is probably where we're going to stick. Then we're going to, if you're interested in table games, there's table games. If you're interested in sports betting and racing and pari-mutuel, that's there. But we are interested in slot machines here. So again, I provide all this detail in some of the other videos that I've uploaded. And so now we are looking at win percent. So this is the different denominations. Multi-denomination is any multi-denomination. And there are 16,000 of those on the Las Vegas Strip. So I'm going to go point out there's a number of units, number of locations, and the win percent. This is the win percent for the casino. Most people would call it hold percent, but the gaming industry works for the casinos, and so and so they're providing reports to the casinos rather than to the players. So this is what the casino wins. So the smaller the number, the better the player win percent. So let's move back down here. 1 cent machines are at 38 casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. Last time I checked, there was 40 casinos on the Las Vegas Strip. One of them closed. Look at that. Or was not open in October. 13,000. It isn't casino by casino, so figuring out which casino closed is a little bit of a trick, and too much to talk about now. But 1 cent, there's 13,000 of those at 38 casinos. One casino does not have it. Multi-denomination is at all the casinos, and there's 16,000 of those. What we're seeing is a lot more multi-denomination machines than penny machines, but those are still a lot. And on the Las Vegas Strip, there's not any 10-cent machines, 10-cent denomination machines. And isn't that interesting? So that's how few there are of them. But what we could do, and one thing I'll just jump to, is to the downtown. That's downtown for the limited range. And so we want all locations downtown. Let me see if I can make that appear just where I had it. Come on, there we go. Okay. And so this is downtown. And again, no dime machines. Wow. Yeah. And you can see how much money that they make in slot machines for penny machines. It's and the $100 machines are terrible here. Understand that people have been losing money, but on average over 12 months, they haven't been losing as badly. So they're really taking a lot of money for people playing $100 machines. And this is all stuff that if you go to Las Vegas, you want to take a look at and just get some guidance on the baseline. And that's so I just wanted to talk about that a bit. If you are in Louisiana or Mississippi, you can look and see what the denomination is for 10 cents. And Colorado has that. Iowa has that. Yeah. Let's see. There's a lot of conversations back and forth. Magpie is talking to Flip, and she says, I'm noticing a cadence where I get a repeat bonus within a certain amount of spins on a specific denominations, Lightning Link and Dragon Link. Magpie is really digging into stuff, and that's great. And Roberto says, I got up and left after winning a $10,000 grand progressive. Hey, yay, congratulations. And I was walking out. Some lady ran up to me and said, you should have stayed. Some guy just sat down and won a progressive again. If you are, the worry here is you're headed out the door and maybe you needed to do that. And so, yes, go right ahead. Yeah. And yes, please, if you please like the video so that it draws attention to the central server, the YouTube central server, and that would be awesome. Great. And Greenwood UK says, would you say the slots in the US are the same as the UK in the European Union, as in the way they are programmed, not necessarily laws on them? Right. I mean, even in the United States, there's so many different laws, and I've read all of them in the US, and it's just like, there's kind of like sort of similar in some ways. And it's, I tell people in the US, go read it. Read my article summarizing those things. So I don't really see Australia, New Zealand, European Union, UK having, really different laws. It's no more than the US states. There's no different than the US states having wildly varying gaming regulations. These are state decided by the state. So what I would say is the programming, there's a couple of things going on with UK and European Union that you probably know. One thing, the casinos are smaller. Here, half the casinos, 500 of them are on tribal casinos, most of them on reservations. So there's just land forever. Not exactly farmable land, but because they got the worst land, but they can certainly put up a casino and expand. But then you have that casino right there, Atlantis Casino in Reno, Nevada, and all they can do is go up because they only have so much land. And they had to build a skyscraper, and then they have so far, I think the 3 towers, and the last one was 30 years ago. So in the United States, it seems like a lot of casinos, many of the casinos are resorts. They're big. And when you're big, you can afford to have the latest technologies, and you can afford to pay consultants and get all the services from the slot machine manufacturers. And I don't see that as much of that in the European Union or the UK or Australia and New Zealand. Melbourne, Australia is the exception, but there's a lot of small places in the United States too. Sometimes I call them casinos. They're convenience stores with petro and a few machines, 5 machines, and sometimes they're legal, and many times they're just totally illegal. But the state police are not enforcing removing them, or if they do remove them, they remove them after 5 days, and the company made more than double what they cost, and so they just get more. In fact, probably have them in a back room someplace where they just wheel them out after the state police leave. So if you're in a large casino, there are a lot like the U.S. My summary here is, if you are in a decent sized casino with maybe 50 or more machines, they can afford to have the programming. They can afford to do everything that the 1,500 machine casinos in the United States has. But if they have less than that, then they don't make enough money to get those bells and whistles. And that's where you can kind of draw the line, right around 50 machines. Yeah. And Shane, yes, I will provide that link again. This is, I'll show it to you, and I will put it in the live chat. And that is end of stream. Yep, it's there across the top, and be careful clicking on it in the in the live chat, it might kick you out, might send you to another location, and no longer be in the live stream. So I put the link there. I probably should check to make sure I didn't get to like 20 members, and I will quickly check and turn off registration, because there really is. Let's see. Just want to make sure that I don't have too many coming in. I don't think it's, thank you for everybody who signed up. Got a couple, but it is not exceeding the 20 members yet. So good to see that. It's encouraging. And Derek, have I used my 5-spin method at Soaring Eagle in Michigan? Absolutely. I have. That was Mother's Day the year before last, 2021. I went with one of my moderators who doesn't live too far away. I am from Michigan, and I was visiting, and I took her up there. Paula's here. Went with Paula. And Paula did better than me, because I don't go for personal reasons to casinos. I used to, and I'd like to, but the job takes precedent. I'm answering questions for people, and I did go there. It was it's my family's favorite casino. Soaring Eagle in Michigan is my family's favorite casino. And so I wanted to check it out for my aunt and for my dad and for my friend Paula. And I did not write up an article, which I try to be pretty serious about, but it's extra work. So now I just can say, if you have, let's see, I can probably bring that up pretty fast. And one of the things I saw at, let's see, where is it? I should be able to spot it if I say Soaring Eagle. Casino map. Where are you at? So I have something to show you. It's an intersection, a diagram of the intersection at Soaring Eagle. And I'm trying to find my figure that I have for that. Oh, where are you at? Hopefully I can just find it and bring it up for you. Well, anyway, I'll just verbally say it, and I'll try to keep an eye on it and scroll through my many files here. Okay, so is that it? Well, so I will share this much, which is going to Soaring Eagle. I will share, present, stop screen, present. Stop screen. Come on. I'm sorry it's taking so long. I want to show you that. So yes, I have been there. This is me there with a hand pay, and so that's my proof. But so I went and I did the 5-spin method. What I did was randomly, I was working on a method of improvement for the 5-spin method, which is there's a lot of goodness to the 5-spin method. Newbies just go ahead and use it, but it doesn't take, it's 0 to 60 seconds. 0 to 60 miles per hour is how fast you learn about the other things you can do as an assessment tool, casino assessment tool, slot machine assessment tool. And so I wanted to just pick random machines to see how it would do, so I can compare. And that's what I'm doing in my demo videos lately at Atlantis. I just want to show how is it a good return, and it was actually a loss. I won on like 18, 19 of the 20 machines. I got a taste, but I didn't win a higher return. Now, I talked to Paula on the drive there over from the Flint area, and she heard me, and she took $100 and she made a profit. She made over $100 by using the 5-spin method on only end of row machines. So I lost money and she made money by making that small change to the the 5-spin method. And that's what I would recommend to you, is play only end of row machines. There's an intersection. It's the main intersection. It's kind of when you walk in, it's on the right-hand side. It's a big aisle. There's food court and stuff over on the side, but you go down that main aisle and you come across the second largest aisle at a right angle. And that intersection has a bunch of machines pointed at the intersection. There's like one machine that's tall, it's on one side, and there's 4 in a row on the other side. And I basically, those are, it's highly visible areas, and those are the ones that you can win on. And I know it's wrong to say I almost won a major, but I felt like if I had been playing longer, there was 4 machines that were facing the intersection for people walking towards the exit. So show people a win. And the first machine, dead. Second machine, dead. Third machine, dead. This is before I knew my tough love method. But basically, I was like making 10 bets and going, no. And I went to the last one on that, and it was just like bonus round after bonus round after bonus round. So it had obviously been set up to win. So go to that intersection, play each machine, minimum bets, maybe 10. And it will jump out at you if there's a winning machine. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, that's what worked for me at Soaring Eagle. Kitty sighting. Yeah, right there. Yeah, Hetty's looking up. Hey, Hetty. And they have a new cat toy. Let's see, can I maybe move out of the way? Oh yeah, there's the second kitty. There the two are. Yeah, they're really, wigging out earlier, and now they're calmer. And Professor from Cyprus says, I heard that if you do low percentage machines first to work your way up to bigger machines, is that the best way to make more money with low percentage machines? You're wasting your money on low percentage machines. And you don't know if they're low percentage machines unless you play them or you watch other people play them. If nobody ever wins on a machine, you might be trying to talk about volatility, which is just like this abused notion by other slots channels. They like that word because it's a beautiful word and they sound smart using it, and that's everything. And they're misusing a statistical concept, which doesn't sound smart if you know what volatility means. But in any case, play winning machines, please. Yeah. Question from Robe. Good idea to always do 5 to 10 backup spins. Remember, your slot is a winning machine. Yeah. If you get a win on a machine, it was either a lightning strike or set to win. Which is it? And when you walk up to a machine you haven't won on, you don't have any information about whether it's a winner or not. But if you get a win, that's a big, big clue. It's worth investing some spins, but I don't want you to stay and spend all your money, because the biggest problem slots enthusiasts have is just giving it all back, leaving with their winnings. And if you have anything like that, get out. But if you feel like you can make 10 spins and then leave, if you're capable of doing that, I'm sincerely, I worry about people. And if you can do that, then yeah, backup spins. Yeah. But not if you put it all back in thinking you're going to, chasing wins. That's something to be avoided. Okay, Flip has another question. Recently started placing higher bets since available bankroll has increased. Yeah. It appears the machine responds differently by giving better or more frequent wins. Thoughts? They can. It isn't. So what you're doing is combining my strategies, and you're as I'll talk about in that course, the new Slots Labs course. How do you grow? Once you can do more, but you have to sort of keep records to see if you're doing better with higher bets. Yeah, sure. You can't, as you know, but others may not. You can't count number of hand pays. You have to look at your profit for the trip. And if you go to more than one casino, you sort by casino, and you track how are you doing, because how we feel about it can get in the way from the data. Be subjective and not objective, like our data. Yes, every denomination has a different return, player win percent, theoretical payout setting. Every denomination. It isn't necessarily better, but it isn't necessarily worse either. When I looked at the 6 states at the time that had slot machine denomination, I looked for the best return. Which denomination had the best return according to the state averages for that casino, for that area? And what I saw was half the time it was one of the high limit denominations, and the other half of the time it was one of the low limit denominations. So really what we're talking about here is finding which denomination has the best return at your casino. Now, if you play a $25 denomination machine at your casino and you're doing well, you might say, well, I'm only getting a 30% profit. But 30% from a $25 machine is a lot of money. Yet if you play a penny machine, you might find that you have a 50% profit. But you're like, well, that 50% is just a fraction of what I'm making at 30%. Right? And so this is when you begin to win, these are the thoughts that you have. A lot of people are losing, and that's why casinos are able to be open, because they take people's money. But once you start winning, you have to sort through this. And this is not discussed in my current class of 30 days to play Slot Smarter and Win, because it's beyond the topic. I was trying to help newbies just get a grounding, a baseline, and you need to all know all this stuff. And strategies are mentioned, and only one of them is combining strategies. But so that second course is needed to address exactly what you're seeing. I hope everybody else is reading your comments. Texas Tootsie is here. She's a moderator. She says, I'm here, but I can't get my union to work on my phone. You have a union? Sorry, I know it's a typo. Did you hear about the guy who invented autocorrect? He passed away. Maybe restaurant. Margaret asked the question. Magpie 11 asked the question. I am looking for the best record-keeping method of 2023 while in the casino. Anyone know of an app where you can take a picture and attach notes to that entry? I used to have something that was available. It was a product that was coming out. It was many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. I'm sure there's something like that. We talk, Margaret, and there's something called ClickUp, which is a sort of a process flow, and then there's Muro, Muro, I think it's spelled, and those are apps that you can get, and there's it's basically tracking progress flow and has the options that you're looking for. It's overkill. It's a lot more, but this is the sort of thing when like Flip made $28,000 this morning. If you want to spend $500 on a course, $500 on an app that is just like for marketers or something, this can be a great way to do what you're trying to do. You're at the front of the class, Magpie. I know you've been a fan and a member for many years, and we've been talking for like a year now, and you are just working hard, which is great to see. Question from Roberto. Miro and ClickUp, Magpie 11. It seems like after a slot machine has been idle for 5 to 10 minutes after I have lost big on a machine, it pays out very nicely for someone. Is that a stackable reset? Yes, exactly. And so, when you find something like that at your casino, remember that you found it at your casino. It doesn't necessarily exist at another casino. So, everybody listening should be like asking the question, which casino are we talking about here? Because then you can just sit for 15 minutes. And if you win, if you become that next person, then you can see how much you win and then decide, was it worth waiting 15 minutes and just checking messages? And Cyberwolf says, in the city of Northfield Casino, I'm just curious why the casino is switching on new machines in their casino and getting rid of the older ones. This is a trend right now. What's happening is last year they did not do it. And the year before, they did not do this. If Chris H is on the phone, I got your donation the other day. So where is it at? Anyway, somebody he sent me a message, but I will respond to you later as well as here if you're not here. So yes, Northfield, MGM Northfield, Ohio. The casinos are switching out, as you had said, switching out new machines in the casino and getting rid of the older machines. What's happening is last year they didn't do that because they were just completely startled by 2020's closing of all casinos on short notice because the governor said close facilities over 300 people and just shut down. They might have had a day's notice, if that, hours maybe, when they shut down for 3 months. And then that was terrifying to casinos, to the casino executives, because they hadn't prepared to set any money aside. They hadn't had a chance to save. And so you can see it in some of the returns. They had a short opportunity. Perhaps they had insight with the governor, and maybe they got and thwarting of a week or something. And you can see the kind of responses in the return statistics for like Ohio, just before no data came in for 2-3 months. And I would show you can see my reports, etc. And I want to keep talking here and not necessarily dig through my old reports or my current reports. So yes, they were so scared by that the accountants were just like, stop spending money. There's Legends Bay, which I got permission to record at on Wednesday. I've been working on that. And they are a brand new casino, first one that's opened in 30 years, that was just built from the ground up in Reno, actually Sparks, next to Reno, one big town. And they also wanted to put in a hotel, and they were like, well, we're half done in the casino. Our investors holding company wants to proceed, but maybe we could just not build a hotel, because did we really need a hotel? So all these casinos throughout the United States, everywhere, got just scared down to the executives went gray, in 2020. And then by 2021, they were making money back, record revenues last year and this year, record revenues. And they were like, not good enough. We want to make our money back. Okay. They made their money back. Okay. Not good enough. We want to make our money back again. 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x. Want to make our money back. And so they did. And so last year, slot managers were like, we've got broken machines. We've got old machines. We'd love to get new machines. And they're like, no, we're still making 6x our money back. That's our focus. That was a scary thing, and now, late 2022, slots managers are like, hey, what about that hotel? Hey, what about that expansion? What about that building that we're going to build? And they're like, nope, still not going to do it, but we'll let you buy a few slot machines at $20,000 each, but you're not getting the multi-million-dollar hotel, but you'll start getting new machines in. And that's basically what's taken 3 years to accomplish. 2020, scared, do nothing. 2021, make the money back, spend as little as possible, even if it hurts business, doesn't matter. And then this year, towards the end, okay, we'll let you do a few things. So next year, I'm working on an article that will be 2023 trends. And one of them is next year, the next year the coffers open because I'll have 2 years of record revenue. And they're going to be like, we don't feel quite as scared as we did. So now we're going to be like making buildings, adding buildings, expanding that way because they're 3 years behind in construction. Anything that they had wanted to do is, Pennsylvania, it was, 2015, they got approval casinos got approval to have a separate satellite, they call it satellite casino, within a few miles of them that they could put up. And they were, planning it and doing it, trying to do it and putting it together. And then the pandemic happened and they're like, nope. And that's a huge expansion that has been delayed in Pennsylvania. Yeah. So I think this is another Northfield question. MGM Northfield in Ohio. Yep. Guy was winning a slot machine with a pull handle and kept winning and winning and winning. And another guy came after he left and did win. Yeah. And this is all, I wish people would see this. And it's part of the demonstrations that I'd like to get to. I have all my strategies to demonstrate, and I'm just trying to do them one by one, but it's only been a couple of weeks. Wednesday was my most recent acceptance permission. So yeah, I want to show everybody this because it's so startling. It really does instruct people on what's possible because there's all these ideas out there that are just like, what? And yeah. That machine was set to win. When I won in 2004 at Prairie Meadow on the machine that was facing the bar, second from the end of the row, $1 machine, and I got 13 hand bays in 6 days, I was shocked, but I kept it together. It was the 7th day that I went in, put my usual $500 in, and it was gone in 5 minutes. I was not able to keep it together for that because I was playing a winning machine. The winning machines exist. It's just a matter of somebody did it. I wasn't lucky. It wasn't getting hit by lightning 13 times in like 14 hours total for those 6 days. It wasn't luck. Somebody had said it that way. And I was like, that's amazing. And then I went in that 7th day and they had turned it off. Turned the winning off. And I was like, and that day, Professor Slots was born. It took me 10 years of figuring stuff out and working on my career. And that was just like, wow. Nope, no worries, Roberto. I have permission to record. It is a note on my player's card. I've got a letter from the corporate slot director of the corporate director of slot management, and this is at Monarch Rewards, which I believe means I can also go to Blackhawk, Colorado, at the Monarch there. I believe that's the other casino they own. I have permission at Legends Bay, and they said I also have permission, therefore, in Carson City at the casino they own there. I applied. I haven't heard back, and I don't know that I will. I applied at El Dorado at the Row, and I said, so if I were to get permission, they kick it upstairs. And I didn't realize how far upstairs. And I said, so if I get permission, will I be able to go to Silver Legacy across the street and Circus Circus down the block? Because those are also Caesar properties. And he says, well, actually, we are bumping it up to corporate. So if you get permission, you'll be getting permission to record at Caesar's properties. You know, all of them. And I kept my cool. And I'm like, well, let's hope I get it, and we will see, because that's a lot of work. But we'll see. Yeah. And Bruce says, hi, Bruce, good to see you. For past week in Las Vegas, have been doing a contrarian slot strategy, avoiding high limits as they've tight and seeking high major penny machines and play maximum bet. Won a big hand pay yesterday. Well done. Yeah, work the system. But these concepts, are specific to you and your casino and your situation. You have many to go to in Las Vegas. It's not that everybody else can't do it. It's like you need to dig into it. And my course that I have offered is basically setting you up to be able to do that, but it isn't really explaining it. It's just the natural next step. And so I'm now providing a course which is the natural next step. Yeah. Serenity, a woman playing next to me. I'm getting more and more excited as we continue this live stream. A woman playing next to me at Mirage in Vegas showed $9,000 in free play. We were chatting, and I noticed the amount. Wow, she told me she'd won a slot tournament with a prize to free play. Yeah. I have seen. I've won hand pay. I think my biggest amount was in a drawing. I got $2,000, and I did not get a hand pay when I spent that $2,000, but I did win $1,980 in less than W2G jackpots. So I feel good about that. And Lady Spitfire, Slots of Fun is asking you a question that says, I live in Georgia, UG, I wanted to say, Serenity, free slots play from a slot tournament actually has an expiration date, and you can lose it if you don't spend it in a month. You need to ask the rules about how long before you need to spend it. But mostly, when I went to the promotions counter, they did not know. So it can go a month because I took one for the team. Yeah. So Lady Spitfire says, I live in Georgia. Yes, no slot machines in Georgia. There is or was a gambling boat out to international waters from, what's the name of that port? Starts with a B. If you go to, well, in any case, okay, let's do that. If we go to present and share, invite, leave, present, share screen, go to this, okay. So we go to professorslots.com and we type professorslots.com/GA. You can do this for any state, territory, or U.S. the federal district in the United States, and you can see what's up. There's many of them have a video, many of them have a podcast segment on them, and there's a map down here. And yes, Brunswick, right? The Emerald Princess 2, and if you're not anywhere near there, that's a long ways away. This is a gambling boat. I don't recommend gambling boats. This is not to international destinations. It's just 3 miles out, or rather nautical miles, something like 12. It goes out to international waters. And where exactly is the international waters? Well, it's depends how you measure it, and if you listen to the Navy's description and stuff, it's fascinating. All this stuff is fascinating. I just find it's great. And if you have, this is Georgia, so you've got Florida down here, but down in Miami and the tribal casinos are all in southern Florida. You've got, Tennessee up here. Tennessee doesn't have any, except of course Georgia and Tennessee have gas stations with illegal slot machines, and if you have any sort of problem, you talk to the clerk. People have called me. What do I do? There was an error in the machine. I got my receipt, et cetera, And no, sorry, you talk to the clerk at the store. And if they don't give you what you need, you talk to the manager. There's no state gaming commission in Tennessee or Georgia to go to. There are no protections in place. Yeah. So question from Chris H. Hey, Chris. Would I need to have separate strategies between my casinos, Coushatta, Mescala, Regulars area, and their non-smoking area? No. Well, Coushatta is a tribal casino that only, as far as I can tell when I was there, and I'm going again next weekend, has only Class 3 machines. Mescala has Class 2 machines, and so those take two entirely different strategies. Most of my strategies apply to Class 3 machines, except for the 5-spin method, because it has a great loss limit, preserving gains, money management technique. Mescala is Class bingo games, and I have thanks to Flip, I now have flight airfare to thank you for the donation again, Flip. That was just amazing to wake up to see a $300 donation. That is going to be used to come to WinStar and hopefully Chuck Durant. I need to set up the flight arrangements for about 2 or 3 weeks from now, and not the weekend of Christmas, but I guess 2 weeks from now. And maybe I'll be able to shake your hand. And I have a bingo machine strategy, and I share when I can with people who are interested in my paid consultations, but I'm hoping to write up an article. But I had questions, and I need to actually try it. Finding a casino near me in Ohio, and even here, has been hard to find Class 2 machines. I'm going and solving that problem. But yes, different strategies, but not between whatever you're using outside of the area and inside of the non-smoking area. Here in Nevada, it seems to be the main area is the smoking area, and there's a small non-smoking area. And then in Ohio, it's the opposite. And so one thing you can watch for is the location method in the small room. Those are pretty tight. But it's actually it still works. It's just that you aren't, walk up the aisle, end of row, you walk up the center aisle and there's rows of machines. Maybe when you can see through the door, that sort of thing works. Yeah. Okay, so I forgot to have breakfast. I'm hungry. Okay. DK Carroll, I play a lot and I love doing it, but I just haven't hit a jackpot in a while. Your advice to hit more jackpots. You can go to my website and you can see my discussion about what you can do to win a hand pay. And that way I'll just reference this. Let me show that to you. Oops, at the stream. There we go. If you go to, I think it's under how to right here. Under Learn to Win at Slot Machines, there's a how-to button. And let's see, do I have it here? No, it's actually under Strategies. Okay, let me back up and go under Strategies. Getting a hand pay jackpot with a small $100 bankroll. And there you go. That's what you need. Lady Spitfire says in Georgia you have Ding Dings. Murphy, North Carolina is only about 3 hours away though, and Slots of Fun is that's a regular casino for him, Murphy, and so that's who you might want to listen to. And Chuck has great advice too. One of my oldest fans and friend. He drove me to Nevada from Missouri, where I picked him up after a 6-hour drive, and he drove the last 26 hours. We've shared some experiences, cats in the back. And he didn't tell me until we got to Nevada that he had a slight allergy to cats. So what a tripper. So Chuck says, do something different, try a different time or a different course, take the course. Yeah, all that. Yeah. One of my other moderators. This is why I have more than one moderator. None of my reminders went off. Yep. So I'm going to quickly check through to see. It's okay, Texas Tootsie. It got me to say one of my favorite jokes. And I'm going to quickly check through for hashtag question. That is a good question, Lady Spitfire. That is something that I want to try. This opens up, it helps people not having to get up from a machine and moving. They can just go to a different machine. I haven't checked on those machines. I finally have a bunch of casinos where the 5-spin method works like 5 miles away. So that is one of the demonstrations I want to film, but you can check pretty easily yourself with minimum bets. And it should all be very obvious. Yeah, if it works the first time on the first game you play on that machine, but it doesn't work on the second machine, on the second game on that machine, and you do that a couple of times, there you go. That's the answer. Yeah, I want to demonstrate that, find out the answer and tell you, but I don't know the answer yet. Let's see. Let's check see if there's any more hashtag questions. Lots of great comments. Wow. Well done. Question from Leslie from Oregon. In your slots lab, if you miss a class, right, it will be recorded. Yes. So allow people to catch up. Yes. Even more than that. We all learned from working from home with the pandemic that there are now tools available where it'll be something we need to be more flexible about working conditions, and some of that technology I'll be pulling into Slots Labs, and we will figure it out. But the messaging system will not be restricted. If you are not able to meet on Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern, not a problem. The recording will be available, and you'll still be doing the homework, and it'll all still be very connected, very connected. Yeah, and that is one of the things I'm working out here. So yeah, but that will help. Magpie says that she signed up for the Slots Labs and wants to hear if others have. I'm not really looking at my email while all this is happening, but I think we're up to like 2 more, and that would be that's great. Okay, let's see, and future comments on that tournament winners free play expired in a month. Okay, yep, good. Leaving the next day and wasn't returning to Las Vegas anytime soon. Hadn't even considered higher denomination machines until I mentioned it. Yeah, use it or lose it. And yes, Chuck signed up immediately. And it's so early that I think all I had done was like the day after or hours after I had decided on the amount and set up a pay method. And I was like, but there's all this. Oh no, you're good, John. Let me sign up now. Okay. Yes. That's how top fans. Yeah. So I'm checking through the questions. Yeah, I saw your note, Leslie, and I will answer it. Don't really answer emails during live streams. There's a couple of coming in, and I'll check them and get you an answer. Yeah. Why Michelle says I started tracking my hand pays last November. I won a little over $81,000 in a year. It's the most I've ever won. Congratulations. Well done. And so, okay, that's it. My voice is starting to give out. What a great live stream. You'll see me in my next live stream on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, or in the Pacific time zone, 4 p.m. In the meantime, I highly recommend that you watch this video demonstrating my tough love approach in Atlantis Casino.